That was last night, Mut? That was you last night?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, wow.
Telling my best friend I loved him.
I apologize. You did.
You listen every night, you said.
I do, but I don't listen to every minute of the show. I'm in and out, you know?
Whatever.
I was at the gym. Like you always say, I was at the gym.
Listen to when I see at the gym, this beautiful New Balance gym across the street, you're always listening to the midday show on the radio.com
True.
app.
I usually am, but I was watching TV. I was watching the Senate hearings. With, didn't want to miss with Brett Kavanaugh. Watching Cory Booker embarrass himself like no politician has ever, and that's saying a lot in Massachusetts, embarrass himself like no politician has ever embarrassed himself. That clown just went all in with this stunt, and it was hilarious. And we can get to that later because I can't believe anybody.
Well, good, because I stopped watching because the white supremacist signals in the background with the hand signal. I said, nope, I'm not watching this anymore. This is offensive to my eyes. I cannot watch this.
Right. She was back yesterday, back in her seat doing she was wearing the Klan hood yesterday.
Oh, was she?
You didn't notice? Yeah.
No, I didn't. I told you I didn't watch. I'm out.
That was a little bit.
I'm out.
A little bit much, but we'll get to Cory Booker because I can't believe anyone would ever think of him as presidential material. Please, Democrats, nominate him because him against Trump would just be the greatest theater ever. But when I heard somebody talking about it, and they said, we live in strange times. They were talking about Cory Booker. They were talking about the New York Times and this alleged member of the administration that wrote that column for the New York Times, which I have my doubts about it, but even if it's true, it's just an amazing attempt to subvert, to bring down an elected president. I mean, it's just an amazing story, and they said this is just an amazing time, and I would agree. For us, it's an amazing time
for all of us.
Never a dull moment for all of us.
6 to 10 especially. Yeah.
Truly, if you're, and you know what, to be honest with you, that's why we like it. That's why, I know I speak for Curtis, I speak for Ken, you. That's why we like it. It's never dull. It's rarely predictable. We never know what's going to happen. That is life with our friend Kirk Minahan. And we didn't expect this yesterday, but he is taking some time off.
Definite leave, yeah.
He's leaving us here. He's leaving the listeners, as he tweeted here. He apologized. He's leaving us with Mut.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
Look at Ken in there. He's like a dog whose owner just passed away. He's lost.
It's a tough day for all of us.
I've never seen Ken cry. I didn't go to his dad's funeral, so I didn't see the tears.
No, he
walked in the booth.
He was sad when his father died, but not nearly this sad.
You should have seen me last night.
Oh, my God. We found out Kirk wasn't going to be here. What are you going to do? You're going to just, after the show, bring him some food, bring him some bolognese or something?
I don't know what to do. That's part of the issue here. I don't know whether to call him, not to call him, talk to him. Even after the show yesterday, it was hard to get a read.
How do you not? I mean, you know him. You know him well. You idolize him. You worship him.
But as you say, he's unpredictable in his reactions. You never quite know what he's.
I'm sure you could text him. That's what you could do.
I did text him.
No, you should call him.
I will call
him. You should have called him yesterday.
Why? He's probably sick of. I know, but Ken doesn't. Ken doesn't have anything to offer.
So Kirk says, "I'm taking time off because of mental health issues. He wants to get himself right." He says in his tweet he loves Ken Laird. Ken Laird doesn't call. That's not
a good
loving
point.
him back.
But he loves Ken Laird like I love Toby. No, he loves Ken Laird like a pet. It's not like a person, not like a friend. It's just like someone.
We're good friends.
And Toby,
but the best
friend.
Ken is much better behaved than Toby. Ken does whatever he's told. Sometimes I tell Toby to come or leave, go outside, and he won't do it.
Toby doesn't like you, Jerry.
No, Toby loves me. But he's a little bit of a rebel. Ken's the opposite. Ken is like a really good doggy. Yes.
Maybe this is a chance. You don't see you're digging in on this. Maybe it's a chance for Ken now to spread his wings a little bit.
I've been trying to get Ken to spread his wings. He's
give
smart.
us the real Laird.
He knows his sports. He's got good pipes, but he's afraid.
Very witty. Yeah.
He's very witty,
smart,
colorful,
great sense of humor,
charismatic,
well-dressed.
But he won't do it because he's afraid that Kirk won't like
it. So silver lining. Now we get the real Ken Laird here.
So maybe one of these days you could sit in the third chair. For some reason, we don't have somebody in the third chair today. We have Rob Bradford coming in to talk socks. What time's that?
8 o'clock.
We're going to do 2 solid hours breaking down this
we are not.
incredible
we are
socks
not.
team.
We are not
That's
doing
the
that
boss.
We're not. Nope.
You talk about
Executive decision. We're not
consequences.
doing that.
Bradfo
You
show.
talk
I'm
about-
making the call.
You talk about unintended consequences. Now we get to learn more about Ken. We get to see Ken spread
That's
his
a
wings.
positive. That's a silver lining.
Now we get to celebrate this Red Sox season. Now that Kirk's not here, the boss.
Another silver lining.
The boss saw an opening and said, "Get Bradford in there.
I'm Rob Bradford.
Get Bradford in there." So Bradford's flying back from wherever the hell he was, all over the country with this
Atlanta,
team, and he's going to come in here and he's going to talk about playoff rosters, because I heard some good playoff roster talk yesterday on the midday. Those guys made their whole roster. I'm going to do mine. You do yours. Bradford will do his. We'll mix and match. We'll compare. We'll debate. We'll discuss.
It's a little
It'll
early.
be fun.
I want to see September. I want to see these guys play.
It is September,
I bet
stupid.
we get a couple
It's
weeks.
never
though.
too early for playoff rosters.
It feels a little early. I want to see
Did
some
you
more.
think that when your pal Rich Keefe did his yesterday?
I did not hear that. I'm sorry.
I thought
I'm
you
mad I
were
missed
listening
that.
all the time.
The Brandon Phillips, story is just going crazy right now. Everybody's in love with this guy, and I can understand why the way he ended that game. But does he have enough skill, or maybe even personality?
Fourier doesn't even want it. His heart is not in it. He's just going.
Does he have enough skills? Is a great question.
Why are you
Does he
playing
have
that?
enough
Why aren't
skill
you
or
playing Dale
personality?
and Keefe comparing their rosters?
Well, if you let Fourier get to it, he was asking about the playoff roster. Is Brandon Phillips going to be on the playoff roster?
He asked the manager after one game. Is Brandon Phillips on the playoff roster?
That's
on
why.
September 5th?
That's why we love
6th,
Kirk.
whatever it
I
is.
mean, working with Kirk, because he would never allow that. I mean, obviously,
He would have thrown headphones
obviously,
that
it's a
way.
mandate. Someone upstairs, I don't know how high it goes, said, "Get to the playoff roster."
Season
That's
roster.
our
What would
team.
he have to do to make that roster?
Is that? Is he asking Cora that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Fourier can't even pretend. That's why I like him. He can't even
Oh,
pretend.
he'll punt. He'll just stay out. These backs
he
away.
can't even pretend he cares about
He had
that.
a great follow-up question on Stephen Wright's bullpen acumen. I love that. The same
Bullpen
question that Lou had asked him.
It was the
Did he
second.
use that word, acumen?
It was the second time. He didn't use that word, but it was the second time. I want to go easier. This is my NFL Sunday full-time partner now.
That's true.
Christian Fourier.
And your other partner, Rich Keefe.
So Stephen Wright, though, you wouldn't have any
He's-
issues with him in the 7th or the 8th, because I think some people would have a concern with him, just pass balls, catching up, being able to handle it. I mean, do you feel like he's
Some
he has-
people
he
are
has
saying
no interest.
Some people are saying it's a pass ball issue.
Why doesn't he
Stephen
just
Wright.
take a break? Go get
So
a
bad.
cup of coffee.
He should. He might.
Or just goof off like he normally does, or like Kirk would in that situation. But no more. Kirk's taking some time off. We wish him the best. We worry about him. We root for him. We miss him. Did I say that already?
Said all that stuff. Yes.
You said you love him.
I love him. Yeah.
I said I love him.
You said we love him.
We love him, don't we?
I'm saying I love him.
Okay.
He's one of my
love
best
him.
friends. Yes.
Where'd Curtis go? He left.
I think Curtis is tracking
Pull
down
some
Rich
Dale
Keefe.
sound, yeah.
Rich Keefe and Dale Sound. Yeah, I talked to him yesterday right before the show. I got here and was informed of what's going on and talked to Kirk for not a long time, but 10 minutes or so before I went on the air last night at 6. I love the guy as a friend. I don't mind admitting that. I love working with him. Not only do I enjoy our friendship, but I love working with the guy. Wish him the
This
best.
last night?
Yes. Love
Yes.
the guy. He
I'm
is a
sorry.
great friend. He is a great father, great husband. All those things. I stand by all those things.
Can't you just add a little humor, a little sarcasm to it? I mean, he does
I
that
did,
with you.
if you listen
Kirk,
to the
if you
segment,
missed
we
it-
eventually do get to it.
If you
Some
missed it,
good
Kirk
humor.
sent out a tweet. We can retweet it again that he's going to take an indefinite leave. He's still battling mental health issues. He came back to work too fast in August when he was going through a tough time. He took I don't know how long, 4 or 5 days off, get some treatment at McLean's. I'm not sure if he'll go in there again, be in there again. Whatever it takes, however long it takes, we'll keep you updated. It's what we do. He wrote, he loves us. That'd be me, Curtis, and Laird very much. He says, I'll be okay, and I'm sorry for leaving you all with Mutt. Now, that's funny. That's witty.
It was
That's
funny, but he
so
should have
why-
added me
why
on
can't
Twitter
you?
so I can so I get no followers out of this. At Mutt WEI. Help me out.
Oh,
help me out,
okay.
Kirk.
Can you do that at Mutt?
No.
Yeah, I'll
He
help
could-
that.
He could have done it.
He
could have
has
done it.
2,400 likes. That's a lot. And 775 people have messaged him. I wonder if he'll get back to them.
Yes, I could see him going through every single one of those and saying thank you for your kind words.
I
and
talked
thoughts
to him
and
a lot
prayers.
about this, and
T's and
he
P's.
doesn't want to be on Twitter. Twitter will drive you nuts. He can't afford anything that can make you crazy. He's crazy enough already.
And this show will do that.
This show will do
Yes.
that. There's a lot of things going on the air if you listen and off that have gotten under his skin, and it affects all of us in different ways. And he doesn't, he doesn't have a lot of room to breathe. He can't afford something that's going to drive him nuts.
Well, he's like you though. He cares a lot about this show, and that's why I give him credit, because I think in the past he would have just fought through this. And in talking with him yesterday, he recognized that right now he needs to focus on health and getting himself better before the show. And
right.
It's a mature and in my opinion, brave thing to do, instead of just saying, you know what, I see the warning signs. I know I'm feeling a certain way. I'm going to fight through and keep doing the show because he loves doing the show.
And
he hit the brakes on. He's going to go away for a little while.
Drives him crazier than anything. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Lots of things drive him crazy, as you can tell. Right now, it's the Tom Brady situation is not. He's not handling that well.
Not great.
There's other things behind the scenes that drive him crazy. But we talk often about people who don't care as much as we do. And you do, too. You care a lot about this show. You care a lot about your job. I know you do. But you know people who don't. And in a weird way, Kirk and I always agree, we envy them. People who can just, not have to read everything, watch everything, not have to stay on top of everything, just kind of show up and whistle a happy tune and do a show and, shoot the breeze and, talk sports and talk socks and go home.
See, and to that point, you said
not
read everything.
Take it home.
Not read and watch everything, whatever. You've done good shows and bad shows. And the credit I give you guys is that the bad shows bother you. I think there are people in this business that they can walk in, do 4 hours, and I've done plenty of bad shows, but it bothers me afterwards. That doesn't happen to everybody. Some people walk out of here and they go, okay, well, do the same thing
Kirk will
tomorrow.
lose it,
okay.
as you've heard, as everyone has heard, if we do a bad segment. And, if we do what he thinks is a bad segment. I mean, Ken thinks it's a great segment, and obviously sometimes I do too when we talk sports. Ken will pretend he doesn't like it, but he likes it, and we'll talk sports. We'll talk whatever, the Patriots game Sunday, and
opening day,
and he'll just say I don't want to do it. If we do it and he doesn't want to do it, it'll bother him.
I'm bored with this. This is boring.
He'll just bail, and Ken will sit there and say, yeah, that's boring, even though it's Ken's life. But we talked about certain people. One guy, we love Boomer Esiason. We had a great conversation with him on Tuesday. We look forward to next Monday.
I got emotional last
Monday.
night with Boomer.
But Boomer, that's true. Boomer did not do he did the game.
He did. It was his last game for Westwood
which
One
is good.
And CBS Radio, which is really Entercom, but they keep calling it CBS Radio. It was his last game after 19 years.
We've looked at Boomer for years. How does he do it? He'll do Monday Night Football on the road, and he'll be on the air the next morning at 6 in New York City. The man's a machine, but he doesn't get caught up in it like we do. The other night he tweeted that he was watching a Jack Ryan marathon, binge-watching Jack Ryan on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, the new John Krasinski show. And I said, how can you do that on a Wednesday?
Show.
What?
The new Jim Halpert show.
What does that mean?
Well, that's
his character.
Everyone knows him from The Office, Jim Halpert. Okay. They don't know his real name.
People don't know who John Krasinski is?
No, they know Jim from The Office, Jerry.
Okay,
90% of people know
John
Jim
Krasinski
from The Office.
is.
They don't.
That's Kirk.
Curtis does because he's friends with the guy.
Kirk did the podcast with him. He was the star of 13 Hours, a great, great movie.
It was okay.
It was a great film. He was in unbelievable shape. Anyway, and he's from Newton. People know who he is, Mutt.
Jim from The Office.
Do you know who Burt Reynolds is, by the way?
Who?
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson? Yeah, I know who that is. I know who Turd Ferguson is.
Well, Chris, first of all, put your pants on.
Yeah, there's John Krasinski.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
But Boomer binge. How many episodes so far? 4?
I believe so.
He watched them all, and I'm so jealous of that. I can't do that on a weeknight. I'm watching.
I shouldn't tell you this.
The Red Sox. You too. I envy you. You watched it.
I just watched season 2 of Ozark on Netflix. It's 10 episodes, so it's over 10 hours of TV. I watched it in basically a day and a half. I watched 10 hours of TV in a day and a half.
What time?
I did it Sunday night into most of the day on Monday.
See, I couldn't do that. Most of the day on Monday?
On
Labor Day?
I'm sorry, Labor Day Monday into Tuesday. I put my son on the bus at 8:40, and I watched like 5 episodes in a row from 9 o'clock.
Good for you.
I didn't get off the couch for 5 hours.
I will say this. Kirk,
except to get a bowl of cereal.
Has mental health issues. You are the least mentally ill person I know.
It's very nice of you to say.
You're obviously,
can you save that? Save that
obviously,
one,
you're a degenerate. But,
I am.
But things like the fact that you spend like the mortgage payment at something, it doesn't bother you. That would drive me nuts. That's why I don't gamble. I would drive me nuts
What's
if I
the
lost.
confidence that I can win?
Yeah,
I
but
won
you-
this year at
but you
Saratoga.
but
Ended
when-
the entire meet
But
in
overall,
the black, baby.
overall
First time
in
ever.
your life, you're in the red. You're a loser.
No, we don't know that.
Yes,
we don't know
you
that.
know you are.
I'll go back and double check.
Most gamblers are. But it doesn't bother you. You have a good time.
loser.
Do you ever
Shut
have
up,
trouble
Tony.
sleeping?
No. What do you mean? Sleep like a baby.
Yeah,
Boom.
after a
Out like
dozen
light.
beers.
Well, that helps. I mean, it helps.
But
if not, 7
you
shots
know,
of NyQuil, and you're
like these things
sleepy
don't
time.
get to you. That's
No.
good. I'm jealous, and I'm sure Kirk is too. He doesn't drink, and he probably doesn't sleep much because he thinks about work. He thinks about the show.
Well, you don't think I think about work in the show?
No, you do, but you're
You don't think
more-
I care about it?
As degenerate gamblers go, you're pretty well adjusted. I'll give
Oh,
you
that's
that.
very nice of you to say. Thank you
yes,
very much.
Yes, I mean,
Who do you like in the It's Opener at Belmont? Who are you thinking today?
I don't even know what the opener at Belmont.
What's Belmont opening
Belmont,
day?
Mass?
They go
Belmont
from
Country
Saratoga
Club?
to Belmont. Now the Belmont Fall Meet
Oh,
starts.
don't tell me you're going to that.
And next weekend, Suffolk Downs, their special fall racing day.
You're
taking,
kidding.
taking the family to that.
Special
big
fall
family
racing
outing
day.
next week to Suffolk
You're taking
Downs.
the family,
The entire
kids.
family, wife, the kids, everybody. Yeah,
And-
parents might invite them. So you
I'm-
want to go?
I'm very happy
beautiful
for
day
the
out there.
Manansky kids. The heat wave is broken. It's going to be like low 70s
All right, can I
today.
clarify this? I've taken 3 days of a beating.
I
on
said
Can
this. I don't
clarify
believe.
this?
I don't believe this. I said Mutt doesn't care about money. He'll just put it on a credit card. Mutt's, he's break out the Discover card. He'll throw whatever debt he has on there. Pay 27% interest.
And I have done that before.
I can't imagine
not?
that you would shut off the air conditioning to save $12.
When I'm the only one home, I don't run the air conditioning. That's what I said to Reamer on Monday.
What about yesterday when it was 98
I did
degrees?
not. I did not run the AC at all during the
What
day.
were you doing at home during the day?
I was doing some work for my Jimmy Fun walk, which is coming up 2 weeks
Some
from Sunday.
work for your
Yes.
walk.
Wow.
What kind of work for you?
I had to build out my page. Had to work on my email contacts. Listen, that's your first year doing PMC. There's some little legwork to do.
Believe me, it's harder than the actual event.
So
It
I was
is.
doing that
I don't-
yesterday.
I'm not-
sweating in my house with it's like
So
79
you
degrees.
sweated in your house on your computer because you wanted to save a couple dollars?
And I have
All right, thank you, Mike.
I have a Wi-Fi thermostat. So when I set it for
What?
when my family came home from work and school, it started to run. When I'm home by myself,
Why?
I don't run the
Why
AC.
not?
Because I have a fan right there in the kitchen.
No.
The fan is
It was-
fine.
no,
And I'm trying to save money.
It was
It's
100
expensive.
degrees.
Yeah, see, this is
How
where
much money did
this
you
is where
save?
I don't. And Kirk's not here, but I don't need Richie Rich and Richie Rich too to explain to me how I can't save money. It's expensive to run your air conditioner, and a lot
How
of your audience
expensive?
knows that. Very expensive.
Tell me-
My heating bill was like $300 last
Right.
month.
That's
That's expensive.
less than you spend
That's
at Suffolk
expensive.
in one day.
Okay, but that's different. That's a heating bill that I can.
So you choose to sit in a puddle
no.
of sweat.
Whether
so
I
you
was
can have
gambling
money
or
to
not, I would
gamble.
not be running the AC. I'm a frugal person by nature.
I don't believe
And I
that.
got,
I've seen you.
Kirk Minahan, who did not know that different stores charge different things for products, didn't know like what cereal costs differently at one place and the
he's
other.
never-
He's going to tell me to run the AC or
Kirk
not.
doesn't even look at price tags.
That's what I
he's
mean.
the ultimate child of privilege.
I have to do that. I thought you would have to do that too. You run the
I've done
AC 24 hours a day during the summer? No, I'm sure you shut it off.
No, but I
when it
could
gets
never
to a
imagine.
cooling point.
I didn't have air conditioning until I was like 35
we didn't
years
either.
old.
We had a house fan growing up with the big house fan upstairs in the summer. Exhaust
Growing up,
fan.
we didn't have air conditioning. And
I didn't either.
I didn't have it.
I
when
didn't have cable till I was in high school.
I was like married with kids. I didn't have air conditioning. I didn't even own it. We just put a fan on. But if I have it and it's 100 degrees, I turn it on.
At home by yourself,
I have it.
You would.
See, I
Yes,
don't,
there-
I
there's
don't
the
believe
exhaust
you.
fan
You
right
just
there.
made that up. So you think you spend the money when your kids come home? Why don't you just tell them to suck it up?
No, because they're kids.
Run through the sprinkler.
Because
That's what they did to you
done
when
that
you were
when
It
we
also
did.
costs a lot when you allow the house to get really warm to then cool it 15 degrees
Ooh, that's
versus
a good
keeping
point.
it at a
Nah.
better temperature.
I've not seen that work. My friends at National Grid.
Is
had
it really
different-
$300 to run the air
It
conditioner?
is not.
My heating bill last month was close to $300. I can tell you in a second.
Maybe you're
You're
heating your
heating-
house.
you
That's the
should-
problem.
should
No
put
one's
the
heating.
heat on in
I'm sorry.
August.
The electricity bill was that much, and that's all from the air. We don't do anything else different
Well, no,
than
it's
run the
because
air
you're
conditioner.
on the computer all night betting on Santa Anita
Well,
races.
guess what? The Wi-Fi doesn't. That's not that. I do that anyway. Do that during the winter. And
Is
the electricity
is
bill is not that
Albuquerque
high.
running now?
No, we got Belmont. We got
man.
Kentucky Downs, which is the most player-friendly.
Oh,
all the
God,
tracks.
yeah, I love Kentucky
All
Downs.
turf
I'm
racing.
thinking of going
Excellent.
down.
It's beautiful.
Are you going to Belmont?
I will go at some point this fall. Sneak to Belmont for Saturday
You
or
will?
Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. So you can't go on Sunday, though. You have a 4-hour
Oh, I do
pregame
now.
show. That begins this Sunday?
This Sunday morning, 9 a.m.
You, Fourier, and Keefe.
All three of us,
Yes.
full 4 hours.
I think you should do Battle of the Brainless, the three of you. And who's your producer for that?
Ryan Garvin.
Oh, forget it. He's too smart. He'd win. He'd kill you guys.
He would.
But you're
He's
looking
smarter than
forward
all
to
of
that.
us.
Keith's your best buddy.
Yep.
Fourier and you are pals.
I know they ripped Keith away from me during 6 to 7 now because he works middays, so I get to do that show
I
with him.
can't
So the only
believe they
time I'll
don't
see
make him
him
come
is-
in for that.
They
We're
should.
trying to figure out the playoff roster.
I already got it. I'm all set. I'm ready to submit it to the league.
Now, it's a question of how many pitchers. We think it might be 11.
Yeah, I looked up last year. Now, I understand there's a different manager.
John
that's
Farrell
been very
last
clear.
year.
But last year's
Yep,
playoff
John
roster,
Farrell last year.
ALDS,
Who's in charge
the
of
Red
throwing
Sox
their
went
headphones
with
right now?
11.
Is that me or you? that
This isn't going to help Kirk. I think he's listening.
I host Red Sox Review. I wouldn't do that.
I
this
think he's
early.
listening. He's probably heading to the railroad tracks right now as we speak. I know. And it's September. It was September 6th. Who's talking Reds? Are we supposed
Apparently,
to do that?
every show on the station
Is that why
except for
Bradford's
yours.
coming in? I know he's coming in to talk Sox.
Who new mandate at the station?
All right, are we going to do playoff roster?
Well, we have to
8?
figure out Brandon Phillips. Can he be added to the playoff roster? That is all the
Yeah,
city
no
is
one's
talking
talking. I mean, no one's really tweeted about that.
That's confirmed, yeah.
It's
Oh, it
confirmed,
is?
right?
I don't see. I'm not
I
convinced.
saw
yet.
Lou said
617-779-7937. Can Brandon Phillips be on the? I don't. Where's the rule that says that? Have you seen the rule that
I
says
have not
that?
seen it clarified.
There's no tweets about it. I don't think Brandon Phillips
isn't
can play. This is
playoff
why
roster
it's so
talk
stupid.
what you do at the end of September?
Yes.
You don't have to
yes.
submit your roster like tomorrow, do you?
No,
Two
October
catchers,
4th.
8
or whatever.
infielders, although a couple of those infielders can play in the outfield, and they went with 4 outfielders.
Kirk is
That was their
missing us
list.
right now. He's wishing he were here.
See, my theory was the reason Kirk was not here today because he was stepping down from our challenge. We were supposed to play basketball today.
That's right.
A
You know
week
what?
ago,
I think he's running scared.
He is scared. All Nescac or whatever he was.
You
Give me a
can't beat
break.
him. I've never even seen him play basketball, but he's got 6 inches on you. He's in good shape.
I don't think he's in great shape.
He was a basketball player growing up. You weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't. You're 5'3".
What are you
How could
talking
you be
about?
a
I had 2
basketball-
years of varsity hoop at North
You
Middlesex.
did not.
I scored 22 varsity points, Jerry.
But you also were varsity golf, and I played golf with you. And that
I played in Hoop It Up, the great 3-on-3
you were
tournament
on
in Boston.
You were on the golf team.
I
right?
went to Hoop Mountain out in Mount Vernon in Western Mass, where he played out there. Went to great camp out
So
there.
what's your strategy when you get him in the on the court? When you
Step
finally
back
get
from
him
40 feet and drain. That's all I have to
from
do.
40 you couldn't reach the rim from 40 feet.
I outplayed you at the hotel in Connecticut, Mutt. You're not that
Okay,
good at
I had
shooting.
17
Yeah.
Bud Lights.
Yeah,
Curtis.
you were hammered. That's
Yeah, so what do you want to say?
And Curtis went 1 for 28 on 3-pointers.
But he did. I did. I thought it was 2 for 30.
2 for
It
29.
was, but it was 1. You've heard his first one. He hit his second one, and then he went 1 for 28,
Okay, well,
which I didn't think was possible.
I'm a much better shooter than Curtis. I've offered at any point I will go over to that gym during this show and hit
but he's
at least
Kirk
10
is
of 30.
much taller than you. He's not.
But he's not faster.
He's like 5'9".
Okay,
He's got
he might
6
be
inches
faster
on
over
you.
long distances, but I'm quicker than him. I'm built low to the ground. I got this Keith Byers
I
feet.
like your confidence, but I don't like your chances.
He also, when's the last time he shot a basketball? you
Who,
think?
who cares? He'll practice.
I
for-
play almost every day.
You do not.
I
Where?
do. Out in the front yard. Like the basketball
That's not
hoop.
playing.
When do
That's
you
just
see your
shooting.
kids? You're watching Ozarks playing basketball every day,
Well, I
betting
don't.
on
That's the
horses.
problem. The fall, I don't see them.
Watch-
Next thing you know, I'll be grown up.
10 episode of Ozarks. I
Carter
wish
might
I
be smoking now. I don't even know.
I wish I could do that. That's my whole point. The whole point of this is Kirk can't do that. I can't do it. He's more intense than I am, but he can't do that. If he could, he'd be in better shape. If he could turn it on, turn it off. You can do that. God bless you.
I
So
can't.
all day Tuesday, or is it Monday?
No, it wasn't Labor Day Monday. I was betting Saratoga.
all
Labor
day.
Monday.
all day
It was Monday.
Tuesday,
Labor Day. It was
you're
Monday
watching
night. I watched
Ozark.
2 or 3 episodes Monday.
So you didn't listen
Put my
to us?
son on the bus.
You didn't listen to Dale and Keefe or Glenn?
There's something called On Demand you can listen to.
What?
On Demand radio.
So-
I didn't listen.
so
Did
the
I listen to
answer's
it
no.
live? No, I didn't listen to
No,
anything
you
live.
watched a
I heard
show.
a little bit. No, I didn't listen to a second.
How
of
was it? I
WEI.
haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I've
awesome.
heard nothing but good things about it. I plan to watch it like when we're on vacation at Christmas.
I was
I'm gonna
surprised
watch
it was that. You'll watch it before that. Well, now football season, maybe you won't because you're a big.
I mean,
you
Sunday-
you're a Heisman voter. You got to watch.
That's
huge
true.
games
I
Saturday.
will. I got to
BC Holy Cross
I know
tomorrow.
it's a monster
That's-
game.
What time? That's my obsession. I admit it. But what time is BC Holy Cross?
It's a 1 o'clock kick.
1 o'clock kick.
1 o'clock game. Somebody invited my daughter to like a tailgate party, and I said, "You should just go to the party. Forget the game. What's the point of going to the game?
There is not
It's
much.
going
No,
to
just
be
tailgate and go. Yeah.
pathetic. It is a joke that they're playing this game.
It's a rivalry.
Holy Cross just
rivalry.
lost to Colgate.
Let me check.
They went 4-7 last year. They lost to like Monmouth or whatever that is, and now they're going to play.
First down, Eagles.
And you watch, Holy Cross will have like left tackles who weigh like 227.
Okay, but who cares though? Why,
They're gonna
I don't know
get
why
hurt.
So because this happens every single weekend
No,
in
it
college
doesn't.
football.
No, it doesn't.
Where a really good team
No, it doesn't.
plays a 1A team that sucks.
No.
And they do it for the payday.
No, it
and Holy
doesn't.
Cross is thrilled to walk into the Heights, get their payday, take an ass
They're
whooping,
not
and go
getting
home.
a payday. I read that in one of the stories. They're getting like
So why are they
Last
playing
year,
it?
Holy Cross was shut out by Yale, lost by 12 to Monmouth, and UConn beat them only by a touchdown.
Okay,
Wow.
are they getting paid, Curtis? That's the point,
it's
right?
It's not much.
Probably like $200,000.
Yeah. it's
Okay,
not
that's
much.
for a little Holy Cross. That's a good deal.
It's a little Holy Cross.
They get to take care of their alums. They say the alums
Okay.
go to a big
What if-
college stadium.
What if
go
like
into
half
Boston,
the
probably
team gets
treat.
concussed? What if there's like some guy? What if they're like dragging Holy Cross
happens-
players off the field, carting them
It's a
off
weird hill
every
to die
other
on
play?
for you. This happens
George
every
Chapel
single
It
week
does
in
not.
college
It
football.
does not. You're wrong.
Okay,
This is the worst mismatch in college football history.
It's
One
not
of your
even
favorite
close to.
movies, Pete.
They just killed UMass last week. We'll see. Mita doing the game?
Of course.
Is it on
850.
On 850. You listen and you count the times they say, we have an injured crusader. You just count. It's going to be ugly. But it'll be good. All the third stringers and fourth stringers will get to play. And
All the Holy Cross alums will see a big game.
Oh, they ate him for
so
lunch.
if you're a Holy Cross alum, you want to see your team lose
Last year,
78-0?
last week, you think it was
Do you want
Stephen
that?
F. Austin played Mississippi State. Your final was 63-6, and I'm sure they got a nice fat payday.
This
for that
isn't a
game.
fat payday.
It,
What are you
200
missing?
grand is good for the
It
school.
is not.
So why?
200 grand.
So why? Okay. So why are they doing it? Enlighten me, Heisman
Because they
voter.
think-
Why are they doing it? They're
You
doing it for
saw,
the money. It's helpful for Holy
Shaughnessy wrote
Cross.
this. He talked to the AD. The AD said a lot of the Holy Cross kids were recruited by BC and decided to go to Holy Cross.
He's lying.
Yeah, BC.
Payday.
Holy Cross
Who
will
else?
have.
Let's see.
You check their offensive line. They probably have like a center who weighs like 198. They probably have like white wide receivers.
Okay, guess who Oregon is hosting on Saturday?
I give up. Who they host?
Portland State.
I don't know who.
It'll be 70-0, and
How
they're
do you
going to
know?
be happy to get
Did
paid.
Portland State lose to Monmouth?
I'm sure if we pull up their schedule, they were terrible. Ooh, Arkansas State going to Alabama tomorrow, the number one team in the country,
That's-
playing Arkansas
Right,
State.
that-
Same
they do
thing.
that all the time. They
payday.
give them $1 million.
They
$2
all
million.
do.
They don't give Holy Cross that much money.
Howard-
BC paid UMass $350,000.
That's a good payday.
But I don't see
UMass
Holy
is
Cross
Division
doing that.
1.
Well, that's 1AA. It's close.
No, it
Might as
isn't.
well bring people in from the stands to try to tackle A.J. Dillon.
My prediction is they play with a running clock in the second half. And
Southeast Louisiana at LSU tomorrow. These are all the same games. You
they're
just care if
not.
it's in your backyard.
You don't understand, do you? That Southwest Louisiana is better than Holy Cross.
I'm
don't
not
understand
convinced of that. I think Holy Cross is a good team this year.
No,
How do you like that?
They're athletic up front.
no.
The meter's going to tell me tomorrow.
Scrappy, cerebral. Yeah. Do
You'll
you
be
have,
into
you have
that
the
game.
roster there, Curtis?
I'm grabbing it.
Oh, good.
It's
I
only,
think 11 pitchers. I think Brandon
there's
Phillips.
only 1,000 boys in the whole school.
They'll be my size. Guys like me. I should have played
Right.
football at Holy Cross.
You could have. You'd have gotten crushed.
Would have been good.
Getting hurt. Getting good.
They got an offensive lineman, Noah Fitzgerald, 6'2", 250. Yikes.
There's no such thing as offensive linemen who weigh 250. At BC, that's a running back.
Run it up,
A safety.
Adazio. Run it up.
Yeah, he won't. He'll go easy.
Goodness gracious.
Mita will rest easy tonight. He's not worried about the big game tomorrow. But
I would say tomorrow's a tough game to do, right? Because he has to fill the second half of the game. He's got to fill time like a baseball announcer.
He can do that. Are you kidding? He can riff.
Yeah, that's not his
He
strength.
can riff with the
Not
best
his
of them.
strength.
Sure he can.
New star of the Meter is Running podcast. They did the ice cream flavor episode.
That's not
Is he
his
still
strength.
doing that?
You'll be playing that Monday. It's Meter trying to fill time with Pete Cronin.
Well, as
late
bad
in
as the
that game.
BC game is, the Patriots game is great. I don't think we, because Kirk doesn't like doing this. I don't think we talked enough about it. Don't you think this is an awesome game one?
It's a perfect
It's-
way to start the year. First
it's the
2 weeks
preview-
actually are the perfect way
It's
to
the
start.
preview of the AFC title game. It's good. It's the game that when they play Houston.
When they beat Houston at Gillette in December.
Yeah. Here's why everyone discounts Houston. They say they'll get hurt. They'll get hurt. Watt will get hurt. Watson will get
Who's
hurt.
discounted? Well, we can back, but I don't think people are discounting.
Sure,
Houston.
they have. You don't listen to
They're-
the station
they're-
anymore. You
they're-
watch
they're-
Ozark.
They're the de facto
People
number.
say they'll get hurt.
They're the number 2 team. 617-779-7937, the phone number. Now you sound like Ordway. This is your straw
Ordway
man argument
said
today.
this.
People are discounting the Texans. No, they're not. Everyone's picking Houston to be the second best team in the AFC.
It's going to be the AFC Championship game. I'm convinced.
But everyone's saying that.
I love Deshaun Watson. I loved him. I saw him in college play against Holy Cross. Eked out a tight, game. It was close. It was competitive. Clemson, Holy Cross every year. Throw the records out. But he was great last year. Great.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little Patriots Texans talk today. We're gonna
Yes.
Is this the day we go through the entire schedule? Or do you guys already do that?
That's a good question. No, we do it regularly. We update
Do you have division winners, playoff teams?
Yes.
First quarter schedule, I'm for, yeah.
Okay, first
I
quarter.
got the Globe
I
picks.
like that.
The Globe has like 27 people
Who cares?
picking.
I have Boston Sports Journal's picks, baby.
Nobody picks the Patriots to win it all in the Globe staff.
Oh, wait,
Yes.
shocker. Shaughnessy didn't
No.
pick the Patriots.
Nobody's. I think a couple people have them going to the Super Bowl, but nobody has them winning the Super Bowl.
Wow. The same paper that did the Tom Brady digging but didn't look at the David Ortiz
Right,
charity?
that same
that
paper.
paper didn't pick the Patriots
yes.
to
And we
win?
have a quickie poll after this first segment. Is Mutt a terrible father? Your options are yes or yes. So you can vote
that's
Kirk and
good.
Callahan.
So we're going to preview Patriots and Texans, which
But
Kirk will
he
love.
knows Ozark. Ask him anything about Ozark.
It's an excellent season, too. They really follow up season 1. What else are we doing today, Curtis?
We have a great headlines. Might get to it before headlines. Cory Booker yesterday made an absolute fool of himself. We have some sound of him. We have a woman who is running to be the Suffolk County District Attorney in Boston who wants to decriminalize
Everything.
shoplifting. You name it, she wants to do it. We have some sound with her and Tucker Carlson.
No more crime.
As a former criminal, I mean, I think that's that's not worth
Is
the idea.
drunk driving on that list?
We'll check Mutt.
And do you have this? At some point, can we play the Reamer sound? Or I'd like to play the Reamer sound. We ripped me on my own show the other night. It's
We will have it.
a weird take by a guy who's doing post BC shows.
Oh, he did.
On
He
Saturdays
ripped you on
here.
your own show. I don't
He
think he
did.
did it on our show. He was on
He was
our
with
show.
you guys yesterday. No, he does it on my show, not with you guys.
And speaking of drunk, Dolores O'Riordan, I want to get to that story too. It turns out she didn't. She's the singer of the Cranberries. She died a couple months ago. We assumed she committed
it was suicide in a hotel room, right?
It was
Yeah.
not. It
Ooh.
was not. It was, and I think it's something you should read up on. Be wary of.
Oh, you will educate
going
me.
forward. I would educate you on how she passed away. It's very tragic, very sad, but it is a warning for you, my friend.
A very busy Friday. Kirk and Callahan. Don't go anywhere.
It's Mornings with Kirk and Callahan, with Kirk Minahan and Gerry Callahan on Sports Radio WEEI.
I'll tell you what, I keep thinking back to that Super Bowl last year, no matter who you were rooting for.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
was a phenomenal game.
If you would have told me that Tom Brady was going to throw for 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they were going to get beat, that doesn't happen very often. That game was as strange and as wonderful and as beautiful as it could possibly be. And obviously a lot of happy people around here.
Yeah. Games have ebbs and flows. That one never ebbed.
True. Last night, if you missed it, Matt Ryan, MVP 2 years ago.
Holy crap.
Went into Philly and laid an egg. Let's see. He had a 57.4 rating. 0
that good?
touchdowns, 1 pick, 20. What was he?
21 of 43.
21 of 43. Absolutely sucked.
First red zone attempt, 4 and out. They didn't get it. End of the game, they had 7 shots inside the 20, and he could not score. And the last ball he threw was basically out of bounds. For
That's
Julio Jones.
that's the same defense against which Brady threw for 500 yards.
Yes.
And
And
scored
Matt
33.
Ryan struggled, sucked last
It was
night.
terrible. And
What happened to him?
I don't know. He's not a short thing. When you watch him, some days he just looks like he looks terrible. Some days he looks
Last
like
night,
a stiff.
is this how bad he passed? He had 4 sacks and a pick. He
4
was
sacks,
terrible.
a pick, and 12 points. And afterwards, it's like, yeah, we'll get him next week. It's.
From beginning to about the third quarter when I fell asleep, just a terrible, terrible football game to start. the year.
Me too. Me too. I was the same way. It was boring. It was bad.
Great anthem from Boys to Men, though.
Excellent.
Was it?
Yep.
That total jerk, Michael Bennett, whatever, he
Shocker.
walked around and sat down. Michael Bennett, a proven liar and a racist who roughed up a woman in a wheelchair at the Super Bowl, allegedly, and lied about the Las Vegas cops. He was the only one that, I guess, protested.
Yes, according to Judy Batista.
Did he talk afterwards?
I didn't see that.
Did he lie again?
But not only did he forget protesting, he basically ignored the anthem. If you read the report, he walked around, then at the end of the anthem, he just sort of sat down.
Yes.
Like didn't acknowledge it at all. Wasn't not even a statement against the anthem. Just didn't acknowledge it.
It's
this
hard
was
to
really,
watch.
really good. As a Boyz II Men fan growing up in my teens, excellent rendition by Boyz II Men.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all set with Ozark.
Didn't you want to? It was done with Ozark. Didn't you want to see if NBC was going to show the sideline to see if any players were?
No, I was following on Twitter, and the game didn't start till 9. And I said, "Oh, good, I'll watch the game." I had no interest in the whatever that was, flag raising.
Well, I didn't care about that, but I cared about the anthem and seeing if players took a stand or a kneel against the anthem. So I care more than you do.
But you don't even know what you're talking about. You watched it? And you just said he just kind of ignored it?
They didn't show Michael Bennett, but they
so
showed...
what's the point of showing it if you don't show the guy who
They
protested?
showed players on the sideline, Jerry, over the course of the national anthem, and I wanted to see if those players were going to kneel.
What did Malcolm Jenkins do?
He stood there with his hand over his heart.
Good for him.
He didn't Chris Long...
When you think about it, good for him. He's the one that brokered the deal where they got $89 million for their social justice causes, whatever those are, but the NFL paid him. He's got more honor than Stormy Daniels. He got paid off, and he honored the deal. You know?
Did. I was shocked that he did. I thought for sure.
I love these people
because
that
the Eagles last year were the team that was most active during the anthem, right? Between Jenkins and Chris Long and others.
Well, they didn't kneel. They just did the fist.
And then Chris Long had like the arm around
Chris
Jenkins.
Long.
They stood next to each other, but they didn't do that.
Trying to glom onto everything, Chris Long.
Jenkins gets it. It doesn't help. Whatever their cause is, it doesn't help them by kneeling or doing anything.
And if the league says, why don't we come to an agreement here, make a deal, we'll give you $89 million. We'll spend it on your causes, your charities, whatever.
Social injustice.
Yeah, social justice. And he said, good. Well, and then people like Kaepernick, or Kaepernick's people, not him, say, we can't be bought. Oh, no, you can't, unless it's Nike buying you. Then you can be bought. But isn't that a big step? $89 million?
It was a big step for Jenkins not to have any sort of protest during the anthem. It speaks to maybe the players recognize now they cannot. They can't win this amongst many of the fan base.
They did win it,
and the president. They can't win this.
No, they can't. And absolutely, it's polls show it's like 75-80% of the people side with.
That's why I got to play Reamer. But I take calls from people that say they don't mind it. So I got to do the Reamer thing, a Tomasi thing, where I jump in and say, well, forget the polls that are there where every single one comes out. It's a majority, over 50%.
I whipped that baby out.
But I took a call from a service member who said they want Kaepernick to kneel. So you have to.
It's like one out of every 10 or 15
the facts.
Veterans supports Kaepernick. The other, 95% don't.
I'm going to blame the players.
You can find
That's on the
a veteran
players.
any day of the week. You can find a veteran who'll say, "I stand with, I agree with Kaepernick," like Nate Boyer. But most of them don't.
So
arrested. But the idea that he sacrificed everything. That's the phoniest load of crap you ever
I would love
to
sit here.
Did you see the commercial last night?
We disagree. I like the commercial.
Oh, it's terrible.
I like the commercial. I like the athletes they feature. I like that they it's more.
It's totally. I agree with my man Rich Keefe.
He
said this. It's totally disjointed. You got at one point you have like professional athlete, then you have a kid with no legs wrestling.
Well, that's the point.
It's totally and
it's
you
over
have,
your head. You go.
Okay,
it's art. You really don't get it, which is fine.
Play Kaepernick. Do you have any of the commercial? It's stupid. It says you should strive to be the best one in the world.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever.
Oh, stop right there.
Yep.
Is that good advice for a kid?
Sure. You try to be the best, Jerry.
You try to be the fastest ever? You weren't born that way.
Okay, well, if you train hard, you might aspire to do. What's wrong with having a dream and a goal?
Because it's stupid.
Wow.
That's why. As my friend John Young, who's
mentoring with Gerry Callahan.
Okay,
aim low and just get by, just squeak by.
Okay, no, that's not what I said.
Listen,
that's a guy who can't jump rope for 2 minutes. Mutt, you got no.
What are you talking about?
You're not even able to walk 13 miles. I'm looking forward to you.
You never see. Oh, you did see me jump rope the other day.
I saw you try.
I'm a very good rope jumper.
My friend John Young is a little person. It takes him 80,000 steps to run a marathon. He runs a marathon every month. He's
amazing. Amazing.
He's not the fastest one in the world, though.
Okay, but does he aspire to be the fastest and beat his goal and beat his own time every single
right,
time?
Yes. You strive to be the best.
That's
you
essentially
can be.
what he's saying.
No,
there.
he isn't.
You're taking him literally.
No, he isn't. It's stupid.
Jesus, Jerry. I don't like Kaepernick either. The ad is very well
play
done.
some more. The whole thing is disjointed and dumb.
Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something. Even if it means sacrificing everything.
Oh,
I hate
so
the tagline. I hate the tagline.
Sacrifice.
But the athletes they feature, the video they show, it's inspirational. It's excellent. It's great.
Right.
Good job
So
of the
you
Nike
have-
team.
you have a bunch
Bad
of-
spokesman. Good job by Nike.
You have a bunch of people who are amazing, who refuse to
Yes.
quit, and you have the
Shaquille
most.
Griffin is going to start this weekend.
And you have, right, he should be the spokesman for Nike, by the way.
He will be
should
at some point.
He should be. He's the opposite of Kaepernick. He refused to quit. Kaepernick is a quitter. Kaepernick gave up on the dream to play, to be the best football player ever. He just gave up.
We agree, but doesn't make the athletes featured in that spot.
And he's a terrible spokesman anyway. He doesn't sound genuine. Sounds like he's reading a script.
When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team.
Okay, I'll make sure. I'm going to make sure my team's the greatest in the history of the sport.
You're making the effort to have that happen.
Sure. How
That's the
stupid is
point.
that?
Take some calls.
Oh,
here.
look at this.
We
Look
say
at
this and send it to Kirk.
Say what? This call?
I think this call maybe might make Kirk feel
It's
better.
Carter in Chelmsford. Hey, Carter.
Hey, Dad.
Morning, Carter.
Jerry, you and Kirk have been picking on my father a lot lately. He's been a lot of fun this summer. He's actually been playing a game with us every time we go home. It's called Will the Lights Turn On? It's been a lot of fun. And let me tell you, the air conditioning's not so much of a big a deal if you don't mind your apple bag being stuck to your thigh for 4 months out of the year. And he's been very popular lately, especially since that Tom versus Time thing came out.
Yep.
But before that, he would get a lot of phone calls from different friends, from the credit card company, from the cable company.
Love those people.
Different people always want to talk to him.
Bye, guys.
But especially one company, the mortgage company.
Yeah.
They must really like him and know that we need some outfits lately, because they just put a sign up on our front door. It says, "For clothes sale." They must know we're on a budget.
That's not true, Carter. You have
Carter,
a very
what-
nice home. You got a
what-
roof over your head. The bills are paid, buddy.
Carter,
the bills are paid.
what were you and your brother doing while Dad was binge watching Ozark the other day?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. While we were at the track, he told us a valuable lesson, and there's a little secret. If you take some jewelry and some valuable items to this one guy that he knows, he gives you money to hold it for you. It's amazing. I don't know if anyone knows about this.
Listen, if you're in need of money fast, I have some ideas.
No 5-year-old in the world knows the ins and outs of the track like Carter Manansky.
Oh, he was all over Saratoga.
But listen, I hope you guys have a good day, Dad. I miss you. I'll see you later on.
I love you, Carter. I'll see you later, buddy.
You will? You sure?
I will. We got to get soccer shin pads today. It's our big Friday project.
Soccer shin pads.
Soccer starts tomorrow. Where do you get kids' shin pads?
The store.
Target?
Netflix.
I don't think Jason Bateman has them.
There's a store right near Suffolk, I think. You haven't seen it? You used to know the Rockingham Mall well, right? Because there was a track right next door.
The food court at the Rock was great. When you're down in your luck, you had a bad day, you don't want to spend the couple bucks for a hot dog, go to the Rock.
But it's gone.
Taco Bell right there.
No more Rock.
Rock's gone. They buried it, yeah.
Hey,
it's over.
You
The
know
mall's
what we're
still
gonna do?
there, though.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to hear from Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah, since Kirk's not here, if you missed it, Kirk is taking a break. Kirk is taking a mental break. He's,
Indefinite mental health.
Indefinite leave of absence.
Indefinite scared of playing me in basketball.
And yeah, I don't think anyone's going to buy that. They might believe that. They might believe that there was an issue with one Thomas Edward Brady, but Kirk's not here, and when we get back, we're going to hear from Tom Brady. What do you think?
I want to hear from Tom Brady. Ooh, is it going to get a little contentious, you think?
It could be.
Ooh.
You never know. I'm here, though, and, Brady and I have always had a good relationship. So, and Kirk's not here, So
Brady loves me. I asked him the Tom versus Time question, which
that's
he lied
true.
to me about.
You
Lied to me
made
about.
the big documentary.
I did.
Was that like the highlight of your life?
Definitely.
Did you see it, or were you watching Ozark?
I was watching it here. I saw Kyle DeLuise tweet it, so I had to go watch it after that.
Wow.
I have no idea what I'm saying. Maybe at some point we can play the sound and try to figure out what the hell I'm saying.
Yeah, we could do that.
In the documentary.
We get your take on the documentary.
We'll
Kirk
do that.
Didn't like it.
Let's hear from Tom Brady. It's a good idea next.
Excellent.
Kirk.
Can we trap in the meter's booth and put like 2 dragonflies in there?
And Callahan.
They're friendly. They're happy.
With Mutt.
Don't they sting? Dragonflies sting or bite, right?
Sting, you idiot.
WEEI.
You know, I think anytime you're together with people for a long period of time, relationships ebb and flow. And I think people they're looking for something to write and talk about.
You know, one of the guys that gets brought up a lot when you bring up Tom Brady is Alex Guerrero. I'm curious.
So is Brady different?
Changed at all in
addition to the
They wanted to talk about a lot of drama, and I'm sure a lot of teams have things like that, but ours is just to the 10th degree.
Yep. No question, because they are the Patriots. They're the greatest team ever, the greatest player ever, the greatest coach ever. We have an obsession around here, so naturally there's drama. And you know what helps feed the beast is when you make a Facebook live documentary that serves it, which includes not just football, but, all kinds of personal stuff.
What if at a big symposium you're asked about your relationship with Brady, your coach, and you feel respected, and you say, "I plead the fifth"? Does that help the drama at all? Does that feed the drama that the quarterback is not enjoying so far this year?
Yes, but we're still not sure if Tom will be joining us. Maybe we'll, now that Kirk is taking a break.
Trade Kirk for Brady.
Ooh.
We get Mutt, too, though. That's not a great deal.
Yeah.
What's that? But Tom and I get along, though. We're very friendly. So you like my Tom versus Time question.
He made the decision to include Mutt in the documentary. And we were never in it.
That's a shout out to me directly because he likes.
I'm sure he's a big fan.
Brady different. My theory was he was a Mutt and Merlone fan, which is why I included both Lou and I. There. Big fan of What's on Tap. Yeah,
he misses Mutt and Merlone.
A show that Jerry hated.
He probably listened to you. He probably listens to you at night driving home from the studio.
Maiden voyage.
So maybe we should let him know that you'll be here Monday.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think. There's some things we're working through. I will be here at some point next week.
Just say you'll be here Monday.
If it'll mean Tom will be here, then I'll be here.
Part of the deal.
But we'll get in touch with these people.
He loves you. He loves you not as much as he loves Scratchy, as he loves Jim Gray.
Do we know why he calls him Scratchy? We have any idea?
Yes, we heard it. It was something to do with golf. Scratchy, Scratch. He's a scratch.
Awesome.
Someone joked that he was a scratch golfer,
Hilarious.
and I think it has to do with golf.
So we know Brady is normally a guest. We'll see going forward if he's a part of the show. But he's been a part of the show. Not this week. He did talk with his guy, Jim Gray, last night. He'll be on Westwood One every Monday, every Thursday. You'll hear that on WEEI. Some interesting stuff last night with Jim Gray, including about the relationship with Bill Belichick. Let's hear from Tom.
We are very pleased to once again tell you that 5-time Super Bowl champion and current NFL MVP, the best quarterback in the history of the National Football League, Tom Brady, will once again join us every Monday night throughout the pregame, and he's with us here tonight. Tommy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. Great talking to you. I'm happy we're back. We got another year, man. Can you believe it? Thanks, Jeff Gannett, for continuing your support. Everyone at Macy's who contributes to our program, and
do we really
all the
need
great
that?
listeners. And I know it's going to be a great season for us, too.
Well, you let us right into it. Tom, I know you don't want to look back, but we have to here on this program because the last time we left you was at the end of the Super Bowl. You had a tremendous game, and at the end of the game, obviously the stripping of the ball by Brandon Graham, and you then lost the Super Bowl. Do you ever get over that?
I don't think, you ever get over losses, and it's like scar tissue. It's there and it lingers for a long time. I think the emotions of the game wear out eventually, but it's still there knowing that you came up a little bit short. And I think there's still great motivation in that, from coming up a little bit short and then really focusing on the things that you think you could do a better job of to give you a little more margin of error. And the team that wins that game, the Super Bowl at the end of the season, it takes a lot of great fortune. It takes a lot of great playing, a lot of great coaching, and a lot of good bounces and a lot of good luck. And, I'm happy we can make it to that point. I wish we would always be able to close it out the way we want, but, that's not the NFL. It's incredibly difficult to win it all. We're going to do everything we can to put ourselves in a position to compete with the best teams, and all of it's ahead of us. So I'm really excited about where our team's at. I'm happy the season's kicking off here shortly, and I get back to doing something that I really love to do. So it's going to be a really exciting time for me too.
We'll put this to bed and move forward, but how often have you thought about that play? I mean, you threw for 505 yards, had a great game. The team didn't punt, but are you haunted by that? And is that in your, well, I guess the best way to ask it is, do you constantly think about that?
Well, I think about a lot of things, anytime we lose, and, a big play like that in the game, of course, I wish I would have, got rid of the ball quicker. And hindsight is always 20/20 in football. There's no doubt about it. You can look back at a lot of plays in the game, and I wish, I would have made all the plays perfectly in that game that help us win. Football is not a game of perfect. It's a game usually really good. Hopefully your really good is good enough. And on that night, it wasn't good enough.
Tom, you're always real candid on this show. Yesterday, in your final installment of Tom versus Time, which was a mainstay for Facebook Watch last year, in your final installment, which aired yesterday, you said the last 2 years have not been much fun. Well, you won a Super Bowl in the last 2 years, and then you lost by one play in another one. So first of all, how do you change it if it hasn't been much fun with that being the result? And second of all, what caused that?
Well, I think there's a lot of when you play football, I mean, I love the sport. I love being on the field. I love, playing the game. And I think sometimes it can feel like there's a lot of other obligations that come along with football, that if you let those take too much of a impact or toll, you can bring those onto the field. And, I think being in it for 19 years, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot. And it comes down to prioritization. And I think this offseason was great for me to really spend a lot of time with my family, catching up on some things that I've never had opportunities to do, to really refocus and re-energize for what really is a marathon of a season. And it's a lot of energy and effort that you put out, and you want to have everything in your tank ready to go. And the thing that I'm excited about is I feel great. My body feels great. My mind feels great. We've had a good camp, and I'm really looking forward to this season.
Tom, there's been so much back and forth regarding your relationship with the organization and Bill Belichick over the summer. Where is it now today as you get ready for the season to start?
I'm excited about the year. Every year is a fresh start in the NFL, and every team is starting at the same place. And my goals, Coach Belichick's goals, our team goals are the same as what they've always been. And I'm excited about where we're at. We've worked hard to get to this point. Every NFL team has worked hard to get to this point. Everything that's been talked about before this particular day is in the past.
Tom, the wide receiver position is really a problem as you enter into this season. You've lost Danny Amendola, a terrific player. Your leading wide receiver last year, Brandon Cooks, is now departed as well. Julian Edelman suspended for 4 games and won't be available coming off the ACL tear as well. This is an issue. Who are you going to throw the ball to, and how are you going to compensate for all those losses?
We're going to try to figure out how to throw it to someone, I'll tell you that. We got a tough game against the Texans. There's always transition in the NFL. Coaches, players, from week to week, you lose players. And going into the first week, we got 3 guys and Matt Slater on the roster, so it's 4 receivers. But also we still got Gronkowski, we still got James White, and we still got some other great players who have really shown great things over the course of their time here at the Patriots. So hopefully we can have a very productive offense. We got a lot of guys that I trust, a lot of guys that I love playing with.
All right, Tom, we're so thrilled to have you once again this season, and we look forward to talking to you at halftime.
Thanks. I look forward to talking to you as well, and enjoy the first half of the game, and I'll speak to you guys soon.
The first half sucked.
Good job, Scratchy.
He asked a couple of questions that would have been asked in the same spot.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Scratchy.
I liked it. He asked 2 very legit questions. One of them, Brady, completely non-answered.
Which one was that?
The relationship relationship with Bill Belichick. He said he non-answered it completely. But the other, if we can play the beginning of that answer again, Jim Gray asked him about what he didn't like about these last couple of years. You asked this question openly on the air. Like, he won a Super Bowl. He was the MVP, made Tom versus Time.
Went to 2 Super Bowls.
And then says he was unhappy the last 2 years. Can we play the beginning of that answer? Ken, what is he talking about?
When you play football, I mean, I love the sport. I love being on the field. I love, playing the game. And I think sometimes it can feel like there's a lot of other obligations that come along with football, that if you let those take too much of a impact or toll, you can bring those onto the field.
What?
I think he's been the thing he's done best is compartmentalize, is not let the things distract him or derail him. I don't know why this is whatever it is 18th season.
What were the obligations
any
away from football? I mean, it was his choice to do all those things a year ago, right?
And I thought he said he had a good time, he had fun, he went and brought his family, brought his kids, went out, did a lot of traveling, did a lot of things he doesn't normally do. It seems like he did less things that were burdensome than he did in the past. I think Kirk thinks he's just talking about him. Kirk says he's got a big ego. Kirk has
the obligation of talking to Kirk. That's what's bothered him.
That's the burden.
We love Kirk. I don't think that's.
You don't think that's?
I don't think that's it. No.
See, I think he's always taken pride in not letting things get to him. Little things like radio interviews or his weekly press conference. Ben Volen, or whatever he's been asked to do, even through Deflategate, even through the craziest of times, he's been managed to focus on what matters on the field. I'm not sure what's different now. His relationship with Belichick on a personal level is not good, but that's been the case for a long time, hasn't it been? I know.
I don't know about a long time.
I would say the 2 years.
Yeah,
at least the 2 years.
That's why I thought
those 2 years he went to the Super Bowl, and he was the MVP. He was the best player in the league. So clearly, he's a master at limiting the distractions or these things he doesn't like to do.
See, I was going to say he's a master at answering questions with, again, I use you guys as the example. He would answer the questions with real answers for the most part. Some of those there at the end, he just punted. Maybe that's what he's doing now, a lot of these questions. But he seemed human because he would get into a back and forth with Kirk on vegetables, Kirk, and Frosted Flakes. When he says I think the last couple of years, he made it not like the pushback he's gotten on TB12 and his own thing. I mean, there were a lot of critics of that play, and I think he's annoyed at that. More than on anything else.
Obviously, he didn't want to talk about it with Kirk or anybody, or with Volen or whoever. Clearly, that's something he doesn't want to discuss anymore. But you know what? In the past, he's just said, I don't want to talk about it, whether it's Guerrero or Trump or whatever, anything. I'm not talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, when he came out, as you saw in one of the Tom versus times, he had the glove on his hand after he cut his thumb, which is nasty looking.
No, he got bit by a dog.
Oh, that's right. He got bit by the dog. And first question was, how's the hand? He smiled and said, I'm not talking about it. Okay. We moved on.
It was a funny clip, and people respected him.
He was great. It was
funny.
That. He didn't let it bother him. This is very strange and rare.
That was 6 months ago. That was just last. It's not like it was at the beginning of last year. It was
that was
the end
a
of last year.
huge issue. It was before the Super Bowl.
I think a lot of this is the pushback. He released a book. He got his app out there. It was a big push for it. And Men's Fitness, or one of the websites, did a big breakdown of it and said this stuff's crazy. I think that he does not like the real pushback on the TV.
No, he wants to sell his product, but not deal with any of the backlash that the person that he's working with gets. I mean, that's what he wants.
I think that's a very fair breakdown of where we are right now. It's affected him to the point where he doesn't want to answer questions.
I know
he doesn't want to answer.
Kirk didn't like the last installment, the epilogue of Tom versus Time. I know you liked it because you're in it, right?
I loved it.
It was the best episode.
That part when they played certain sound. So is Brady different?
And you have kids, young kids.
Is Brady different? People are asking the question.
You have young kids like Brady, and when you take them out on your 300-foot yacht and go jet skiing when you want to spend some quality time. Correct?
It's more of a track family than we are a water ski family, Jerry.
So they weren't water skiing; they were jet skiing.
Listen, you can have just as much fun, walking around Saratoga than you can out at some point. Kids don't like jet skis. Kids want to bet the late double. They want to bet who do they have in the late double to get out for the day? That's what they want.
Yeah. Did I know you did well at Saratoga this summer? Did Carter?
Carter did excellent.
He did
absolutely nailed it. He's got a future. He's got a future, Jerry. We're thinking about skipping.
So he thinks when you go to the
started
track,
kindergarten, but we're thinking about skipping out school altogether and going right into handicapping. That's what we're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Be the next great handicapper in this country.
I'm sure a lot of his friends.
Andy Byer, Steve Christ.
I'm sure a lot of his friends.
Carter Manansky.
He's in first grade.
Yeah, he brings the racing form on the bus
now. A lot
now.
of the kids in first grade are into racing, so he's got a lot to relate to.
We got a huge fight. They were arguing about American Pharoah. Was he the best ever on the bus?
Let's talk to Sarah. She has a similar question to what you were asking during that interview. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Sarah.
I love Saratoga, by the way.
Me too.
So it sounded like when they asked about his relationship with Belichick, it sounded the sound quality completely changed on the interview, and I'm just wondering if he needed time to prepare an answer for that, and then they dumped it in.
Well, Mutt's an expert. Mutt's a
said,
radio veteran and an expert. He said the same thing while it was going on. He said that was not part of the interview. They did. Would you say?
I think that with that answer, he gave Jim Gray the "let me tape something and get back to you, Jim." And he went to his. We heard from Mark Leibovich that at the end of their relationship with the book, he would send Brady questions and Brady would send back audio answers. That answer to go conspiracy theory on you, that sounds like a scripted audio file answer he sent back to Jim Gray.
Why?
Because he didn't know how to answer the Bill Belichick question.
Please. He knows how to answer everything.
It was definitely taped at a different time. Like, here's some of the normal Brady answers.
I feel great. My body feels great.
Well, you can tell he's on a phone.
Yep.
Right. And then this is a much better quality.
Excited about the year. Every year is a fresh start in the NFL.
And
every team is starting at the same place.
That's the answer to the Belichick question.
Yes, you were listening. See, that's why the first thing that popped out was how he stepped away from that answer. That sounds like he decided, I'll give me some time, Jim, recorded the audio file, which he's used to doing because that's how he's doing these interviews now, and sent it back to Jim and said, Jimmy can use that there, right? What else?
Or said
Why
something
does it
the
sound
first
different?
time he thought better of and said, I'm going to redo that. I'll get back to you.
It can't be as simple as, hey, his Wi-Fi got good on this app that he has, and that's why it sounds different. That sounds so different.
That would be so coincidental for that question in particular, which was the best one of the thing. About
that sounds taped. That
Good job,
sounds
Mutt.
taped.
You found it.
Wow. Mutt, so what's your conspiracy theory? He didn't like his first answer? And
No, my conspiracy theory was, Jim, let me get back to you on that. And
he would never ever say
the interview's
that.
Taped already.
It doesn't
we
matter.
know it's
he would
taped.
never say that. He knows how to answer questions.
This is the real conspiracy.
Play the audio again
it's
of
a
give me a
conspiracy.
regular answer during the interview.
He just did.
I feel great. My body feels great.
Give me taped answer.
Excited about the year. Every year is a fresh start.
So you tell me
I
what it is.
understand, but he didn't say I need to think about that.
Okay, so you tell me how it went down.
There was the question asked later, or do you think the question was asked? Whatever. Who cares?
I do. That's significant. If Brady,
Why is it significant? I think he
he's
said,
now
I hate that Belichick, that bastard.
No, I don't think he said that.
And
I think he
he
probably
had
said,
second
let
thoughts?
me take a...
Shows how fragile their relationship
Yes.
is that he has to prepare to that length to get the proper response.
He didn't have to.
So you think it's nothing? I think it's...
Let me think about it and get back to you.
Good. 617-779-7937 is the phone number. Mutt and Jerry in this morning. Rob Bradford will join us for a full Red Sox playoff roster
Yes,
breakdown.
I'm working on mine. You have your roster done yet? I get another hour.
I just got a text. We're skipping that roundtable this year, that baseball
Right,
roundtable.
we are.
We're doing it this morning.
Excellent.
From 8 to 10, it's all baseball.
You guys you
all
got to
the
do
time.
yours. We're going to do our playoff rosters, compare and contrast.
I'm stuck in the middle infield. Two
Get-
backups for Kinsler.
No
one.
excuses.
How many catchers?
How many catchers?
No
Yeah.
excuses. There's only 3 more
Who's
weeks
the
of
last
the
bullpen
season.
arm?
Get to it.
Okay, we'll do that when Bradford has been here. We will hear from Cory Booker at some point because he is once again
And I
front
want
and
to
center
hear
of our lives.
your favorite Burt Reynolds movie and Curtis's.
Us, easy answer.
No. Save it. And I'm going to tell
Animal
you about.
House, great flick.
And I do have to get to what's her face, Dolores O'Riordan, the
I don't
Cranberry
know who this
singer.
is.
She's the Cranberry singer who died. We thought she killed herself, and I guess she did, but she did it in a very strange way. And I think it's a warning to you, Mike. It
Okay,
really is.
you will warn me on that. We'll get and headlines this hour.
Drinking and driving? What's your excuse?
I know when I've had too much. I'm careful.
We designate a driver. He just drinks less.
If the room doesn't spin when I stand up, I'm good.
I was eating the whole time I was drinking.
I didn't drink that much.
Had to drive home. I need my car for work.
I'm a big guy. I can drink more and drive.
I live 5 minutes from here.
No excuses. Designate a sober driver.
A message from the California Highway Patrol.